Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, so this is video number 2. The last video was 30 minutes. I'm sorry. You guys know I try to stay down to the 20-minute marker, but I can't. Not when I get to talking about the Lord, because I like to say stuff in context, and I don't want to give you like a little bit of this and then a little bit of that, and then it doesn't make sense and blah 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 blah. So anyway, let's hop to it. This is actually not a viewer question. You see this paper? All these viewer questions. You see all those? Yes, those are all viewer questions. And then on the back. But I think I just answered the last 2, at least for now, until someone messages me again. So this will be my first non-viewer question video that I've done in a while. Ouch, I'm sitting sideways. I do it without thinking. And then after a while, I start to hurt. And it's like, ow! So, okay. Life after abuse. First of all, if you're watching this and you've been abused, I want to say that you are amazing. Let me look right here, because you know, guys, I do that. You are amazing because you're a survivor. And after you survive, there's still a little bit more you have to do. You have to not let those things define you, because the life that you live is your own. Your life is a compilation of moments, but it is also how you move past those moments and how you let those moments speak to you and determine what you can and cannot do. That is another part of your survival. So kudos to you for not letting that situation take you under. But now I want you to live beyond that situation. I want you to see yourself beyond that situation, because life waits beyond that situation. And if you continue to use that as a starting point and as a framework of who you are, I really and truly believe in my heart that yes, you could live life, but I don't think you can live it to the fullest. And that's what I want for you. That's what God wants for you. You should, that's what life is there for you to live it to the fullest. So shout outs to you for surviving. Now you can survive a little bit more. I believe that you can find the strength, if you want to go even further. And don't just survive, but to live out loud, live life to the fullest. You can't live it anymore. Okay, that's for you. That's for you. All right, so back up out the screen, right? Where to start? All right, I wanted to make this video because I have lately had a few messages from people who have been dealing with abuse or people who were dealing with abuse, and I felt like with me being an abuse survivor, I can tell you that although everyone has their own story, although everyone copes differently, although everyone moves forward differently and at their own pace and in their own time, what I can say is that it sucks. Like, can I just be real? Abuse sucks. When you take the innocence from someone, and it doesn't have to be a child. You can be abused in your adulthood. There's an innocence about living life when that part of your heart has not been scorned, has not been burnt and taken advantage of and abused. So when it is abused, you are now open to a new feeling. You're open to a new amount of hurt. You're open to a new self-questioning. And it breaks your spirit, man. It really, really breaks your spirit. And it takes a strong-willed person to come back from that. And side note, in comparison, you know, people ask me, Avery, sometimes I feel like you're really generalistic, or, you know, you seem a little like kind of, you know, anti-white. It's not that. I'm not anti-white at all. I'm for sure pro-black, though, because I know that regardless of what some people, even some non-Americans and some people that you would think would embrace us, you know, certain people groups, I'll leave that to that. But certain people groups, you know, oh, you've been in America for this long and you didn't take over, and you didn't get your land, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. The thing is, I don't believe that the beauty of slavery is that it ended. I believe that the beauty of slavery is that we survived. And not only did we survive, we didn't just say, oh, I've taken the last lash I could possibly take, thanks Abraham Lincoln. No, like, slavery was more than beating It was more than even segregation. It was more than black and whites being separated. It was the dehumanization of a human, of a group of humans, due to their outer skin, their outside. And to be taken from a place where you have your own definition of civilization, you have your own definition of being a citizen and what it means to be a person, and you have respect and values, you have your own life system going. To be taken from that, dragged somewhere against your will, and then forced to be an animal, forced to be property, bed warmers, simply cattle, pretty much. And we were listed with livestock. To experience that and the mental effects it has, and then to build yourself as a people back up from that. Yeah, we have a long way to go, but we have come a long way from cattle to human. And so why am I saying that? Abuse has the same effect. Abuse tears your mental psyche down. Abuse makes you feel as if you're not a human, or you're a deformed human, or you are damaged goods. There is a mental breakdown that happens, and something just falls away. And when that falls away, man, it takes so much to get that back. And there are some times where you think you have it together, and the person says the wrong thing, the wrong situation, the wrong mood, the wrong person approaches you the wrong way, and you're right back there. And so I say that when you endure something like that, you have to daily decide not to let that be all of who you are. Yes, it is a part of who you are, and I'd be lying if I said, oh, you're not a part of that anymore. No, that will go with you everywhere because you experienced it. We are we are spirit, we are humans. Yes, we have fleshly parts, yes, but we also are spirit beings, like we're composed of our memories, we're composed of our experiences, we're composed of our perceptions comes from the things that we've endured. And so you'll never get rid of that. That will always be a part of you, but that doesn't have to be all of you. That's really what I'm trying to convey. Just like slavery is not all of who I am. So when people, oh, you're black, what do you know about slavery? No, there's so much more to who I am as a person other than slavery. Is it a part? Yes. Is it something that should be acknowledged? Yes. Is it something that should be embraced even? Yes. But it's not all of who I am. And life beyond abuse, that has to be your focal point. That's not all of who you are. Now, as it pertains to relationships, I'm just going to kind of bounce around here. This is just me speaking to you, letting that be that. And if this doesn't apply to you, I hope that if you haven't been abused, I hope you're never abused in any way, shape, form, physical, emotional, mental. I hope abuse never has to be something that you check off on your life list. But if it isn't, I still hope that you hear something that can allow you to be empathetic to people who have experienced that, and don't just say, oh, get over it. That happened when you were a kid. Oh, get over it. Because it's haunting. It's a haunting experience. So let me get back on track. What was I saying? Right. So in a relationship, if you're a man who has been abused, I think that you attempting to get your manhood back, whatever you deem in your mind as being a man, you attempting to get that back, I think is natural, because something was taken from you. As I said, that something falls away. So when you're going about maybe mistreating women or dogging women out or sleeping with men, whatever your resolve is, I feel like it's your coping mechanism. That's a part of your survival. And who am I to tell you that that is not a way for you to survive? What I would like to say, though, is don't stay there. Like, cope, do what you got to do, and then move forward. Like, move forward at your own pace. I'm not telling you to hurry up. I'm not saying get over it. What I'm saying is deal with it. Deal with it so that you can have healthy relationships with people, so that you can have a progressive life. Like, that's what you're intended to do. And if you, every time you dog someone out, every time you hook up with somebody you know you have no intention of calling them back, every time you step outside of yourself to do something that would not naturally come to you, you wouldn't naturally just dog this chick out. You're doing that because of where you are. Every time you do that, you are marking time. You're just picking. It's like if you're standing in mud, and instead of pulling up and pushing out to move forward, you're just picking up and putting out. You're just sloshing in the mud. And the thing is, you don't have to do that. Like, when you decide you want to try and move forward, then that's when the process begins. You have to let that process begin, because bed to bed to bed is not going to fix that. It can numb that. It can make you not think about that. And it can even give you the illusion that you're in control. But you're not, because it's something that happened to you that is now dictating your actions. So who's in charge, you or the past incident? The past incident. So, and I suppose that can apply to women as well. Women, if you're in a relationship, I would say men and women cope with things differently. It's been my observation that men live things out. Men, they reassert who they are to themselves through their actions. Women, we assert who we are by what we take. Men are givers, women are receivers. And you can look at that physically as well. Amen. Read between the lines. So with that being said, women, do not allow yourself to be a trash dump. Because something that happened to you that made you feel like trash, made you feel like crap, that is not who you are. Old people used to say, it's not what you call yourself, it's what you answer to. And I've been there. I know when that happens, you feel like, well, since this, I might as well just roll with it. No, you might as well define for yourself who you want to be. Reconstruct your definition of beauty. I heard my grandmother say to my cousin once, birds with broken wings, they don't stay put forever. Like, that wing, even though it's still broken, it eventually becomes functional. So they can do what they have to do. And that's what we have to do as a people. We have to be functional. So, young lady, diamond in the rough, beauty, vintage awesomeness, because vintage is anything that's not in your present, right? So that situation still can make you awesome. And I believe that those things, when we survive them, it becomes a part of our testament that it didn't take us out. There's strength in you that you didn't know you had. And you have to tap into that every day, not to let that thing overcome you. If a man comes along or a woman comes along and is not treating you like the beauty you are, or it's sometime they're not, you're beautiful when it's convenient for them. They make you feel like a woman when it's convenient for them, when they want something from you. But then after that, you're just the trash. No, you aren't designed to be anyone's trash can. So you don't have to take that crap from anybody. Like, close the lid, keep moving. Like, that's not, you are designed to be a carrier of good things. You are designed to be a carrier of wholesome things, a carrier of things that make you smile, that bring you joy, that cause you to radiate. Like, that's what you were designed to do. So if you're around someone, man, woman, other, whatever, if you're encountering and dealing with someone who is not causing that radiance to shine, it's not for you. And just because something happened to shut that light off in you, don't let it keep that light off. Like, darkness only exists in the absence of light. Darkness by itself is not a standing entity. Darkness is the absence of light. So flip the switch back on. at your own pace. And then I'm not telling you again to get over it, deal with it, whatever. What I'm saying is you can't allow the darkness just to blanket the light of your life. Like, you can't do that. You can, but it's not going to produce what you want. Like, you continue to be in these abusive relationships, you creating a pattern of, maybe you have become the abuser. Again, you're simply blanketing the light, and that can become tiresome. It can suck the life out of you. You'll look up and 10 years have passed and you don't have anything but hurt to show. And I personally would rather live through something, find some inkling of strength just for that day, one day at a time, and keep going forward and live my life of progression and know that I gave it all I could, than to live a life where I just gave up and just chose to just live in the darkness. And I feel like within the Christian church, there are a lot of women and men who suffer silently because we don't talk about it. We don't say, these things happen. We simply say, oh, let the Lord deliver you. Get some prayer. Keep moving. I feel like that's so wrong. And, there are several scriptures that talk about, going and confessing to each other. It's not just when you do something wrong. It's when you need to be poured into. I should be able to come to you and say, you know what? When I was 7, I was molested. And sometimes when I'm sleeping with men, I don't feel like a woman. I feel like a tool. I feel like I'm off. I'm there, but I'm off. And I don't want to do that because I want to give all of me to my husband, to my significant other. And I feel like I can't do that. Sometimes I slip into that. I should be able to say that to you without you saying, oh, go lay yourself on the altar. No, let's talk about this. Let's deal with this together. And if you're a believer, I really believe that God will empower you and give you the words to say that I need to hear at that moment, because God can use anyone to connect with anyone, right? So my heart really goes out to people who are suffering with abuse, because I know what it feels like. And for me, my trail, my journey of, I don't want to say journey, no, trail. My trail of abuse went from someone abusing me to allowing others to abuse me, to me abusing myself. So I've experienced it all. And man, first of all, I thank God for not leaving me in that mental state. Like, physically, I looked okay outside. I was going through, I had my mask on. I was pretending that everything was okay, but it wasn't. Things were so broken inside. Things were so distorted and out of order, and just I painted myself light, but inside was just all dark. It was just all dark. And I thought about killing myself several times. I thought about just fading into nothingness, like just going crazy, just deciding to go crazy. Like, I'm just gonna let my brain go. I went through all of that. I went through sexual promiscuity to deal with it, and again, feel like I'm back in control of my body. I can give my body to whoever I want to, even if it's somebody I don't know. Like, I went through all of that because I was hurt and because I didn't deal with it. It wasn't until I sat myself down in front of the mirror, boohoo cried my eyes out, and I actually said my story beginning to end. I didn't leave anything out. The ugly things that I never, ever, ever even said out loud, the things I never wrote down in my diary, I said them out loud in the mirror to myself. I made myself deal with where I was and what happened to me and who I am, or who I was rather, at that time. It wasn't until I did that, till I was real with myself, that I could even process being real with someone else. And the amazing thing is that once I said it out loud, I was able to begin to own it. It wasn't something that happened to me. It was something that I went through and was still going through. I was in the process of going through, but it wasn't until I said it out loud that I really was like, dang, my life was jacked up. Like, what in the ham sandwich, Jesus? Then I went through my anger period. Again, this is not a advice. This is just me talking to you. I'm just putting this out there. I went through my anger stage. I was like, oh, if there's a guy, how on earth did you let that happen to me? I was going off. And I was like, oh, I know one thing, sir. Sir, I can do better on my own. So then that's when the promiscuity came in. And because, I mean, I had been sexually active, but I was never promiscuous. Like, I'm just gonna roll out with whoever. I was never like that. And that only lasted for a little bit, because the thing is, again, although abuse happens to you, it doesn't erase who you are. It makes you feel like you want it erased, but it doesn't erase who you are. And so I had my season. It was a short-lived season. I was like, oh, I turned into a hoe. Bring that in. Bring that in. And I really believe, honestly, that was the doing of my mother's prayer and covering me, and the things that she told me when I was a kid. Those things were what was playing through my mind. Avery, you're worth more than this. You are made and destined for greatness, and you are a king and a queen. It doesn't matter what you feel like. And queens do not lay with peasants. Get it together. Like, get it together. And so I went through my season. I was a hoe bag. I was totally a jump off. And the thing is, I was a sneaky jump off. I was not jump off and anybody know, because I was going through it, but anybody needs to know that I was going through it. Amen. So what did I learn? I learned, again, once I said it out loud, it allowed me to start dealing with it. And I went through many different transitions. As I said, I even began to be abusive to myself, to hurt my own self. And then I began to hurt the relationships that I was in. I began to hurt people around me. And I just didn't like the person I was becoming. I just didn't. But it was still what is it? Something in the making, process in the making, progress in the making. I don't really remember. But my point is, these things happened to me. That's how I felt, but I was going through it. You know what I mean? Like, it was a part of the journey. I needed to climb those things. I needed to fall in those pit holes. I needed to pull myself back up. I needed to do that. Why? Because when I turned around and God was still there, because I had totally loved Him. I was in church, but in my heart, I wasn't. But when I turned around in my heart and I was ready to really talk to God and converse about this, because I was just kind of salty and turned all the way off. But I didn't want anybody else to know, so I had to keep looking the part, right? So I had to keep going, keep serving, keep doing these things. But when I turned around and realized God had never left, God was there the whole time. When I realized that, and when I realized that even in His silence, He was allowing me to be strong. He was allowing me to see parts of myself that would keep me going, flashes of myself, when He was bringing back the things that my mother said, the things that, I had learned as a child, the things that my family had put into me. Like, I was like, God, if I were you, I would have left me a long time ago. But you were like, really? The whole time? You a G. You get the G star of the century, of the forever, of the time. You get the G star. He's a G. So what did I say all that for? To say that you can do this. You can live beyond your abuse. You can live life beyond your abuse. Again, whether it was sexual, whether it was physical, whether it was emotional, whether it was mental, you can live beyond it. Not only can you live beyond it, but you don't have to ever go back there. Like, you do not ever have to put yourself in a situation where someone else can continue the abuse. It's bad enough that somebody here did it, but don't you dare allow your heart to be put in a place where it can be abused again. I'm not saying cut yourself off. I'm not saying put in a boundary and it's a wall and can't nobody get in, and it's like, I'm in here, you can't get in here though. Like, not that. I'm not saying do that, but I am saying be wise. Start to, and for me, this may not apply to you, but for me, the abuse when I was a child, that had nothing to do with me. That was, and I can't even, that's a whole other story. The abuse when I was a child, nothing I could do about that. That could not have been prevented at all. At all. However, the things that happened after that were a trail of hurt decisions. Hurt people, including themselves. And so it wasn't, again, until I had that heart-to-heart with myself in the mirror, like, oh, and this happened. I mean, I know. Whoa, I know that the people I was living with probably thought I was crazy. But, why am I so, sorry. So, my point is that when you go through these things and you come to that self-realization and you're there and you put up these boundaries, allow the boundaries to be healthy but protective. And when you have that dialogue with yourself and you look back, I can say that although, yes, I was hurt, there were still decisions that I brought the further hurt on myself. Like, there were certain flags and red lights and things that I wasn't paying attention to. But now, when I see those things, I'm like, ooh, I know that. I know, no. And the thing is, I went through those things when I was younger and in my young adult life. I think that kids are, we say all the time, kids are resilient. I think when you're younger, it is far more likely that you can move forward than when you're older. So if you can get that pattern and that cycle and the cycle producing things of abuse, if you can get that together, the sooner the better. Because when you get older, it's going to hurt more. It's going to take more energy and more effort to get back in alignment and to get back on track. Last thing about abuse, I'm at 30 minutes, but I feel like somebody needed this. So if it's not you, then you can stop it. If you haven't already, you can stop it and go on. Not go on. That sounds really bad. I mean, you can stop it and go on to a different video. I'm saying my video, I hope, but I'm saying don't feel obligated to watch this to the end. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, the abuse that happened, dang it. All right, so my father and I have a growing relationship. And a lot of it is because of things that happened when I was younger and how he handled things. And there was even a time that something happened and I'm trying to, like, we're past it, but we're still growing, so I'm trying to be respectful of that. I don't want, So, I'm respectful of what we're building. So, but anyway, there was something that happened when I was younger. And because of what he did, I stopped talking for 2 months, 3 months, two or 3 months. I just, yes, me the talker. I just shut down, like, because I was a daddy's girl. I've always been a daddy's girl. What? My father? I'm not saying nothing. But so that hurt me to the core. It was like, you don't need your heart, and I'm gonna step on it, and I'm gonna pick up the pieces, burn them, then I'm gonna take those ashes, I'm gonna toss them to the wind, and then I'm gonna find a way to collect each and every piece that went out there, step on them. Like, that's what it felt like had happened to my heart. And so I just shut down. I was just like, I can't. And what I will say is that forgiveness goes a long way. And I know you've heard it before, but forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. It is for you to break the hold that situation in your past has on you in your future and in your present. So start the process for forgiveness. Forgive yourself. I had to forgive myself for the things that I allowed to be in my life after the fact. Because no matter how much I was hurt, I still am the master of my own body. I'm the master of my own universe. My universe starts with me. and then to my household, then to my block, and then to the world at large. So I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my father. I was angry at my mother for not standing up with me or for me, for my father. And then I had later had to get it together that, boo, that's her husband. Hello. That's a whole other conversation that I actually had from a friend of mine. And I was like, what? When he first told me, I was like, oh, you a man. Da, 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 da. But then I had to realize, and God was like, no, he's right. And I was like, oh, man. So anyway, that's a whole other conversation about children knowing their place and dealing. It's different when you're married. And yeah. So anyway, I had to forgive myself, had to forgive my father, had to forgive my mother. Then I had to forgive one of my abusers. And that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I will never forget when I forgave him. He actually came to a family function because he was a family friend. And he came to a family function and I was just like in shock. Like, why are you here? How could you, why would you even want to come? Like, what in your mind said it is okay that I did these things to her and I can come and be in the same? Boy, I was pissed the first time. I was really, really, really pissed. But the next time that, and there was a next time, really, the next time that I saw that individual, I had to forgive them. I had to forgive them and I had to let that go. And I had to be real and honest with him and myself. And I had to say, you know what? It is what it is. I was not where I should have been. I was trying to be grown. And that's on me. You taking advantage of that, that's on you. So I forgive your part and I forgive me and I had to move on. And man, I'm telling you, there was so much freedom and so much peace that came after that. Like, it was amazing. I was like, whoa. I wasn't perfect. I'm still not perfect, but that was a little piece of the puzzle. And so from time to time, that situation tries to affect how I treat men, how I see men, how I believe and interpret what men are saying to me. But then there's God, he rises up to me and says, I got you. You don't need to decide for anybody. I got you. If I give you a feeling in your stomach that it ain't right, it ain't right. Keep it going. And if I don't give you no feeling, then see where it goes. So allowing God to be in control is really and truly also what allows me to keep moving forward, to keep growing. Now, side note, I really would like to kill that individual. I'm just being honest. Not because of what happened to me, but because he's still doing it. And I was like, because I feel like killing him would be the only way of keeping anyone else from enduring that, you know? And, oh my God, I found out he was near one of my family members. I was like, what the hell? Jesus. Seriously. But God took care of that too, because that's all I could do was pray, because I was out the country. So I was like, Lord, now I will take a plane back. You know me and family. You don't mess with my family. You do not mess with my family. You can mess with just about anything I got except my family. So, but God took care of that too. Whoop, took care of it big time. I was like, because my guy's a G. He a G. He took care of it for me. So, you will laugh again. You will smile again. You'll want to live again. You'll love again. I'm not saying you're going to be good at these things. I'm saying you're going to do it again. And when you do decide to do it again, when you do decide to allow the universe back into your life, God will be there to meet you in the midst of it. And that's awesome, because he'll like help you along the way. He'll help you. He'll guide you. He'll move you. He'll empower you. And it's just a beautiful thing. And God doesn't rush you. He doesn't force himself on you. He's just there. Like, he's just there. So just turn around like, whoa, hey. He's there. He's that, sir. He's that guy. So I feel that's all I need to say. I feel like that's it. After 35 minutes, I haven't done a 35-minute one in a long time. Be encouraged, really and truly, like, be encouraged. And if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, he still believes in you. And he still wants you to be happy. And so if anything that I've said, apply it how you can apply it. Just do that. Just apply it how you can apply it so that you can live the life he designed for you, which is fullness. And again, if you don't believe that he exists, you deserve as a human to live your life at its fullest potential. And you can only do that when you're healed. You can only do that when you've let go of those things. You can only do those things when you've forgiven. And you can only do those things when you decide, I am an adult and I am free to make the best choices for me. If I'm in an unhealthy situation, then it's up to me to get out. It's not up to them to treat me better. It's up to me to get out. If I'm treating people terribly, if I'm treating them like not with the respect they deserve as a human, it's not them to look out for me. It's me to treat them better. True story. So I hope I said something that has brought joy to your life, that has brought hope to your life, that has brought a transition to your life. My inbox is totally open. I'll pray with you, I'll talk to you, or if you just want somebody, if you just want to say it and put it out there, I will read it and send good things to you. So yeah, man. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next time. I hope life continues to be an amazing, beautiful, and wonderful place in your life. And I hope that it improves every day. That should be your goal every day, to live the day better today than you did yesterday, right? So I actually have some work to do after this video, and I'm hungry. But I'm going to hop to that, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully I'll get some viewer Q&As. And yeah. Live life in love, guys. And I'll talk to you soon. You've been watching MKJ TV. Mwah! Talk to you.